sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, but again, away feels like it's been.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Social Beaches. I'm Carolyn Smith.
And I'm Kelly Bowling.
We're with the Coastal Estate team at Compass. We sell real estate all along the Space Coast and into Indian River County. We would love to hear from you if you're looking to buy or sell or have a question or a topic that you'd like us to cover in our podcast. And we don't just cover real estate, we cover lots of fun things. So you can email us at hello@Coastal Estate Team. You can call us at 321-422-2160, or you can message us, hello, on whatever platform you're watching us on now.
Yes.
So today we're going to have a fun topic. We're going to talk about Harrison Butker. We can't resist. And the Kansas City chief speaker who gave the commencement at, I think it was Benedictine College. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, I don't even know what university because I didn't.
It was a Catholic university, but not that that means anything. Not very strict Catholic, but Catholic. Where he talked about a woman's true vocation does not start until she becomes a
wife and a mother.
And that life does not truly begin until you become a wife and a mother, which is interesting to know because then, until I was like 35, my life did not begin. So let's just say.
For some people,
but
yeah.
Kelly and I both need a wife. That's
Yes.
what we've decided.
Yes, I would like a
Yes,
wife.
we need a wife.
Actively searching.
We're active. That should be our ad. We could do an ad or a
Classified,
yeah, or on one of the Hinge or something like that.
Right.
Wife needed, and
I don't need it for any of the romantic reasons. I just
No.
need it for all the practical reasons.
Yes.
Somebody
Yes.
to do the things.
All the things.
that I'm
And-
currently doing.
they think of the list because now we make a list and the list gets done.
When you think about it, okay, how does all the stuff that's in your house get in your house? Who had to think of that?
Yes.
Like for all the food, me. Toilet paper, me. Paper towels, me. Cleaning products. Oh, yep, that was me too.
How about clothes for your kids?
Oh, yeah. Totally
Clothes,
me.
yes.
Now, I will say, my husband did take one of my kids shopping for clothes
Oh,
on the last trip.
that's
But that was like the
impressive.
beginning of the school year. So
Yeah.
And shoes. It's like, hey, he needs stuff. Can you go
That's
take
pretty-
him?
that's-
But who had to think of like, hey, he needs stuff. Go
Yes.
take him.
Or planning all the things. Planning, like, we're going to do this and keeping the calendar and doing all the things.
Oh, yeah, the family calendar. Mm-hmm. And we just had a glitch in ours where like he'll put something on and it won't show up for me. Or I'll put something on and it won't show up for him. And we're both subscribed. We can't figure it out why. So now we're
What do
having
you
to invite
use?
each other.
What do
I
you
use
use?
the Apple calendar.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and we have like a certain color. So like yellow is family.
I
and
always
red
have
is
to
for
invite
work.
someone. You can do it without inviting
If
someone?
you share calendars, you used to be able to. I don't know if something changed or maybe one of us needs to do an update. But
Good to know.
we've figured out where that we just now have to invite each other so that we can see the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to accept the invite.
Yes.
That's the other thing. Like, you have to accept the invite.
To see it. Yes. Yes.
So don't not accept the invite. But
He'll like invite me to like different doctor's appointments. I'm like, wait, confused. Does he need me to go to this? Or is this just letting me know he has one at that time? So I know that he's not available for like kid stuff. And I
Right.
think, yeah. So I have to ask him, I don't need to go to that, do I? He's like, no. Just so you
Yes.
know. I'm like, okay, good.
he needs to put a little FYI in there. Like an FYI. So if it's an FYI appointment or it's a
Or if I have to be there, just add my name to it. Tommy
Yes.
and Kelly.
Tommy and Kelly going to the doctor.
Yes, like, great,
Then
fun,
Kelly's going to be
so
like, why
fun.
am I going to the doctor?
Every now and again.
But I think we've seen like a lot of videos about that speech and what I've got to say, what bothered me about the speech more than anything, and he talked about a lot of other things that were offensive to people, but you've been told the most diabolical lies. That's what really got me. Oh, I've been told diabolical lies that I can go to college and get a degree and have a career. Have a career?
Be successful outside of the home.
That means something?
Or
So
that maybe it's wrong to want that.
What did he mean by diabolical lies?
I don't know.
Because I was like, you've been told the most diabolical, because people are like, I think it's great if his wife wants to stay home and can afford to. Mm-hmm. And
The
be
affording
just-
part.
Yes.
Most average people like us don't have the
Financial ability.
yes
We
to
don't
be
have
able to
them.
just have one person stay at home
No.
and not be earning any income, and especially now as it costs so much
Yeah.
more to exist on the planet.
And raise children. I mean, children are there's
They're
no way
expensive.
around it. It's expensive to have kids.
It is.
It's super expensive to have kids and I don't know very many people who can afford. I'm trying to think of people. Can we count the people on one hand who we know personally who can afford to just one spouse stays home
Yeah, I guess it depends
and
on,
doesn't do even like a side gig or a
right. I think it just depends on like what the other spouse is doing and how many kids and how are you living? Like, you know, are you buying old cars that are used
and
to
shopping
save
at
money?
thrift stores and not going on
Right.
vacations.
And I know there are families that are able to do that. I
Yeah.
understand this because maybe they don't have a choice because childcare is so expensive, which
Super
we've talked about
yes,
before.
we've talked about that.
So maybe that's if you have a lot of children where it doesn't make sense for one of you, it doesn't have to be the woman, to be working outside the home.
Yes.
It's whoever's making the most money
Right.
should be the one out working if you're in a situation like that. But as your kids get older and you don't need that full-time care anymore,
Yeah.
you know, more money coming in from 2 jobs or 3 jobs or however many it takes
Yeah.
to make the wheels keep turning in the house,
Yeah.
you know?
And I feel like one day, this is kind of off topic, but like my mother is in assisted living and she called yesterday very confused, but she's in assisted living about how much it costs is what she called about. And it is super expensive. So if we're supposed to someone's going to stay home, raise the kids, do all the things, not go to work. How do you save for retirement? Like, how do you save for retirement now? And
Hard
then
enough as it is.
beyond retirement, how do you save for that thing, which is like you need care
Yeah.
as an
Better
older
have
adult.
a good long-term care plan, and they're expensive.
Yeah, and I don't think they're really what they used to be. When my mother got hers, I think it was like 1970s or early 1980s. Then they made sense, but now I think
Well, I think if you buy one today, because I recently taled with a financial advisor
Yeah.
about this, and he was showing me those, I was like, oh, that would be good to look into.
Yeah.
But the amount of money that it slates for you to use monthly, it's going to be double that by the time I need it.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So I'm still going to be at a deficit
yeah,
monthly because I feel like the costs are increasing like
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
exponentially, I think, and what it might cost today, and that I don't even know that the numbers that he's giving me would cover what it costs today.
yeah.
So am I going to invest in that with a plan like that and put that money aside now and knowing that I'm still going to be short? I don't know. I have 5 kids, so I'm hoping that one of them will just take me in and they can be my long-term care plan. Free.
This is why you have kids. You have kids. Your true vocation: stay home so that someone can take care of you when you're
Do you
old.
know, so I have a client right now and they have a blended family.
Yeah.
And we were chatting about kids and like all the things at my home that need to be done. Like, I'm cleaning bathrooms like a crazy
Yeah.
person. We have 3 toilets in the house.
Yeah.
They use 2 of them, and those. Why am I always cleaning their toilets? I'll put on their chore list.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was why I had kids, so they could do all the cleaning. They don't do the cleaning. I try. I gave them chore lists. Here,
Yeah.
I need you to do this, and they're like, oh, okay, and then they go off about their business. I'm
I
like,
know. And I was growing up, we had a chore list, and it was on the refrigerator, and there was like a set list of chores for each child, and every week, and we rewrote the list. Every week it rotated, which we didn't have computers then, right?
Right.
So we had to manually rewrite the list. So there were 3 kids, so whatever your list was, it rotated around to the next person. So every 3 weeks you got the same
Nice.
chore list,
Yeah.
and we did those chores.
Yes, I had things I had to do. There was no
Yeah.
like maybe optional situation. My kids seem to think that lots of things are optional though, like homework. Yeah.
And people are gonna. I know we're gonna hear a lot of
gonna
hate.
hear
Like,
it,
you're
yeah.
not making the kids do
You
that. You
should be
should
a
be
better
taking away.
parent.
Yeah, you should be taking away their things.
We've done that too.
I think we're doing the best we can.
We are. I am strapped for time.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm working, so
Yes.
I'm strapped for time. There is another parent.
Harrison Butker would say you should be staying home.
I should stay home. Yes, we would.
I don't know how you would pay your mortgage, but you should
We
stay
wouldn't.
home.
I could stay in a tent then. That's what that would look like.
We would be camping out. Yeah, we would be camping
I'd have
out.
to come stay in somebody else's yard because I wouldn't own anything to camp out on. That'd be interesting. Would have no car to drive. Like all the things that
Yes.
this work thing pays for.
Yeah.
It's life. And,
Yeah.
my kids to be able to eat. And
Yes.
do you know they're raising the price of school lunch next year?
Are they really?
Yes. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I don't have
I
to
feel
pack
bad
it.
for the parents who can't afford and their kids can't eat. Oh, that just breaks my
I
heart.
feel like, free lunch, reduced lunch, that's
Yeah.
a thing. So I think there's
needs to
ability.
happen.
But there are some school districts that have grants that pay for free breakfast and lunch for the kids.
Which would be nice.
We
I
need
think
to
that
get on
I
board
think
with
we
that.
should. Yeah,
Yeah, we had that during COVID.
the school thing we feel definitely. Teachers need to be paid more.
Oh, yeah.
There needs to be more for supplies. those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But that's a whole
nother
nother
topic.
podcast.
The whole wife thing.
But we
Okay.
do like, the wife thing. So what we thought was fun was some of the surgeons and doctors who are women who are out there going, and they're not married. They don't have kids. They've gone through school. They've suffered. They've done all the things, paid all the money to do that, or taken out loans.
Yeah.
And then they're like, so my life hasn't started yet.
Right.
Because I've been told diabolical lies.
Yeah, or some of them do have kids. The one that I follow, she has 2 children. She is married.
Yeah.
But she said that the thing that fulfills her the most is by being in an OR and, literally saving somebody's life. Like, how is that not fulfilling?
I don't know. And that your life hasn't started. I would not be a good stay-at-home mom. And my kids are grown now, but I could not have stayed home with my kids. I love them. I care for them. I take care of them. But I could not have stayed home with my kids.
Yeah. I did stay home with some of my kids. When my older kids were younger, I was a stay-at-home mom for a few years until I was separated, and then I went back to work. And then I was a stay-at-home mom again when Tristan was a baby, about 6 months old, until 2017.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was several years. And, it was very isolating, I will say. Like, to not be out and about and not to be producing any income. It can be scary, especially if you're coming from one failed marriage, you're in another marriage, like the what ifs. Like, I decided when I started working and making money, I was like, I will never again have to be reliant on somebody else's income to feel financially
Well, that's
secure.
the other thing. I mean, this whole thing sounds great. Sounds great. You stay home, but you've taken yourself out of the workforce.
And it's hard to get back in because I've done that. And they're all like, what were you doing from this time to that time? Oh, I was a mom. And they're like, oh.
And then they want to start you here, and you would have been here earning this amount of money, so you're starting at a base level pay, and then you have kids.
Right.
And you're supposed to help pay for them. So I think it puts women in a very vulnerable position.
Definitely.
Unless you have something set aside. So I don't know. I found the whole speech, which I didn't listen to the whole thing. I don't know did you listen to the whole thing?
No, not the entire thing.
Yeah, I listened to snippets. I mean, he hit on a lot of different, he was offensive to a lot of different categories, not just women. So I think he offended a lot of people. And I think there's men now coming out and saying, you don't look strong as a man when you stand up there and basically say what women should and shouldn't be doing.
Right.
That as a man, you should be saying, as a woman, you can do anything. Yeah. And I support you
Especially,
doing whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you fulfilled.
Especially if you have children or a daughter, you know, you want the world for them. You want them to be able to go and accomplish anything that they want to.
Right.
And if that means that they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a business owner or whatever, you have to be able to support them working outside the home. And now, are there women who that is their life stream, to be a wife and a mother? Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But we shouldn't be limited to only that.
Yes. We shouldn't be saying that. I mean, how would, if it was reversed and you said, okay, well, all the women are going to go to work and all the men, their lives don't start because they've been told diabolical lies. That they should be out working, but they should stay home, and if they couldn't bear the children, but take care of the children, take care of the home, do all the things. I mean, honestly, that would work for me. that would be that's why we say we need a wife.
I think it takes an equal partnership.
Yeah.
And if you have that, you're really lucky.
Yes.
I have that. I feel like in childcare ways. Not that they need a lot of babysitting at the moment, but they do require a lot of shuffling around and coordinating events and different school things and whatnot. So to be able to have somebody who's not just expecting me to drop what I'm doing to go do all of the things, we coordinate with one another. My kid has tutoring today. I'm not available to take her, so he's going to pick her up and take her.
Yeah.
And that's not like an occasional thing. I didn't have to say, hey, can you? It was like, I need you to. We look at each other's schedules and try to make it work.
I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we believe
Now, if
in.
I could just get him to figure out what's for dinner every night.
When you get to be where I am, where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to think about dinner again. Like I have to, I don't know. I would be eating like a banana and a yogurt.
This is why my grandmother, after my grandfather passed away and she was living alone, nobody in the house, the woman ate Cheerios for dinner on most nights.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to, why go through the effort of making the things if, you can be satisfied with that bowl of cereal?
And it might not be totally satisfying, but it's easy. It's like, it's a lot of work to think about, what do we want to eat for dinner? Do we have all the all the parts, all the ingredients. Can we, and then to make the dinner, and then you serve the dinner, and then you clean up the dinner. And I know people are going to be saying, why aren't the kids cleaning up? Yeah.
No, I'm lucky if I get them to put their plate into the sink or the dishwasher.
Yes.
That's an accomplishment. Usually, especially Everly, it's just wherever she finished, that's where it
Yes.
lays. Jacob's the same way. It's that ADHD brain.
Yes.
They can't help it. But,
I went in, so Jagger, he sits in the office on his computer, and like on the other desk, there were 3 plates. 3. I was like, when you put the second one next to the first one, did it not occur to you to take both plates and put and then you put a third one?
Oh, did I tell you about my recent encounter with an inspector?
No.
He was doing an inspection at a home.
Yeah.
I will not name him. It was a man, though. So he was telling me about mold growth and where it happens.
Yeah.
And who is most affected by this area. He's like, have you ever noticed that as women get older, then they start to go a little cuckoo? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well,
what?
Mold affects the brain. And what do women do? They wash the dishes, and all that water gets up on the backsplash, and it can drip down, and then it creates mold because they're not paying attention to what's going on under the sink. And so, they're the ones that are doing the dishes. And I said, is that what's wrong with my husband? Because, he does the dishes at our house. I was just floored. Like, what? Yeah, so that was there was many other interesting topics that he discussed at that inspection that I will not go into.
I need to know who this inspector is.
I'll tell you after.
And ban him. Ban him from all my...
I'll tell you after. It's the first time I've
Wow.
ever had any encounters with him at a home inspection. So not somebody that I'm familiar with.
He needs to go hang out with Harrison Butker.
Oh, no.
He does. They might be best buddies. Yeah.
I just thought it was an interesting topic. But I always thought it was like a generational thing, like people from like my parents' time, my husband's parents' time, like that was the traditional role maybe. Like my parents both worked, so I don't really know about that. My grandparents maybe.
My grandparents both worked.
Even before my grandmother had children, and I guess both of them, they both were working full-time jobs.
Yeah.
They were working. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just a state of mind. But then you have a young man like Harrison Butker coming out and saying things like this. So I think
he makes $1 million.
Well,
Well, he
his
probably
wife
makes
can
more than that.
definitely afford to stay home. And by all means, if that's what she
may
wants
have
to do,
help. I mean, because look, if you're staying home all day, I'm sorry.
I would be bored.
I would be bored.
You know what I did
would
when
need to get out.
home? I cleaned like a mad woman, which my house was very clean then.
Yeah.
But I didn't have anything else to do but that and like entertain the kids.
Yeah.
That just...
and I don't think it's good. Kids need to entertain
There's
themselves.
only so much Blue's Clues you can watch without losing your dang mind. I'm
Dora
sorry.
the Explorer. We had Dora the Explorer. Do you remember Dora the
Thomas
Explorer?
the Train.
Did you have Dora?
Oh, yeah, we had Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. Is she still around?
Mickey Mouse Friends, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
All of the things, yes. We had all of the things. Teletubbies when Carissa was little.
Oh.
They were interesting.
Yeah. They're still around, I think.
Yeah,
Are
I
they?
think so.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway. All right.
That was a lot of discussion there.
We were all
covered
over
a
the
lot.
board, but we'd love to hear your comments. We're sure we're going to get some.
Yeah,
we're sure we're going to get some.
definitely.
So
All right.
anyway, we will see you all next time. Cheers.